What's up, guys? We're back with another Mat Chat with Coach Corey. Today we're talking about what gear you need for your training. Just like any sport, anything you get involved in, there's a few things you need to buy in order to have the right protective gear, the right practice gear. And so today we're talking about that.
Awesome. So guys, we have a few different classes here at the gym, and it's very important to whatever class you go to that you're bringing the correct equipment and you're bringing your equipment. Now, I'll say if you're new, gloves and wraps are going to be a necessity right away if you're doing any of the striking classes, but I'll kind of get into some of the other things you're going to need. Now, just jumping right off that, doing a little kangaroo hop. Every kickboxing class, guys, you should be having your own gloves, and then if you choose, your own wraps. Now, I think you should wrap your hands, especially if you're new, just because you don't know you don't have a great form yet, and you probably don't know power management. So to protect your hand and wrist, it's super important you get those wraps. I can show you how to wrap your hands. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. Other students can show. There's even cheater wraps. You have a lot of different options as far as wrapping. But wraps and gloves are going to be needed for either kickboxing or Muay Thai right off the get-go. We do have some loaners, but that is for people that are like, their first day, maybe the first 2 days. But within the first week, you should have wraps and gloves.
And wraps, just to go over, because in case someone's like, well, what are they or what are they for?
Yeah. Just make sure you don't break your hand or wrist. Wraps are going to be extra support inside that glove. It's funny, I'm actually dealing with a sprained wrist now because one day I didn't wrap up and I hit the bag too hard. Right? Even coaches make mistakes. Do as I say, don't do as I do, right?
And if you've ever twisted an ankle, you do that to your wrist, now you can't train for, a few weeks to a month.
There's a reason why my last couple weeks have had a lot of lead uppercuts and not a lot of lead hooks because it's not felt good to throw it because I sprained my wrist. So again, guys, be the warrior, be the proactive warrior. Wrap your hands before you put them in the gloves. It's going to be more beneficial. Yeah, you got a little bit more laundry to do, but at least you're healthy and you're safe, and you can continue training, which is great. The next thing I'll say you need if you're coming to my Muay Thai class, Shin Guards. Okay, now we do have some loaners. But again, if you're coming to class and this is something you like and this is something regular, I sell Shin Guards here at the gym. You can get any Shin Guards you like if there's something you like. That's totally cool. But within 2 to 3 weeks, you need your own Shin Guards just because we do so much drilling. You should have your own pair. It just shows you're dedicated to the art. It shows you're going to stick around and you're going to, it's protecting you. It's protecting your partner, but it's protecting you so you're not leaving with permanent bruises on your shin. Okay. Next thing you need.
Actually, on Shin Guards, if I can ask, because the first time I took a Muay Thai class and I got to spar, the first time I got to spar Muay Thai, they're like, all right, do you have your Shin Guards? I was like, oh no, but I'm okay, because I was thinking it was to protect my shins. But tell me why you need Shin Guards, and can I just go buy the Academy UFC brand?
Please do not buy the Academy UFC brand. You want thick Shin Guards, y'all. That is something I always say don't cheap out on. You want thick, either leather or synthetic leather, pleather, whatever. But you want a nice strong cover, and you want thick padding. A lot of ones you can get from Academy or Dick's Sporting Goods, they're so paper thin. They're not actually gonna protect your shin, but also when you're working with your partner, the Shin Guard protects your partner from taking such devastating kicks to the thigh and quad that they can stand up and continue training. If you're wearing bad Shin Guards, you can still hurt your partner. And then we always say, you hurt all your partners, you have no one to train with, right?
So they're like the boxing glove of the leg.
They're the boxing glove of the leg, yeah. Make sure you get a good pair that you like and get a pair that feels comfortable.
Does it need to have a cover for the foot?
Yeah, it should have a cover for the top of the foot. Toes can pop out.
Because sometimes I've seen them without that.
Yeah,
but I've also
those I would say, yeah.
I've
ran into elbows. You don't get the one with foot cover. It just helps out a little bit more. I would definitely say that. For the jiu-jitsu classes, if we're doing gi classes, of course you need a gi and a belt. We can order them for you. We get some cool ones through Red Gear. But if you want a cheap one, there's options out there. You can go on Amazon and get a cheap one. Just if you're new and you're like, hey, I just want to kind of get my feet wet, you need a gi, okay? And there'll be different sizes. There'll be a size chart with height and weight. You check that out and get the one that's appropriate to your height and weight. If you're doing no gi, now something that I'm going to get kind of strict on soon here is nobody should be wearing t-shirts. Okay, baggy t-shirts to no gi. Why? People wearing baggy t-shirts, what happens is fingers and toes get stuck in the material and you can actually break. I want to prevent all that. Again, I'm a warrior, I'm a proactive warrior. If you wear a rash guard, okay, so it could be short sleeve, it could be long sleeve, but if you can wear a more skin tight training shirt, not only is it going to protect your partner, but honestly, it feels better to train in. They make those for a reason. If I'm wearing a shirt, it's getting wet, it's getting soaked, it starts to drip on my partner, it starts to drip on the mat. Rash guards, the sweat wicks from your body and stays in the rash guard. That's why we wear them. As far as that, I would say like get a rash guard that says something about your personality. I think the cool thing about our gym is we have, if you look at a no-gi class, everyone's got like the coolest uniforms, the coolest rash guards. You got Liz with a Cthulhu on it. You got Justin with a wolf. You got Luis with like some kind of cool tiger. You got one of the ladies with like a cool tropical design. You can kind of get the rash guards and shorts, like you can get them in regards to what you like, what's your personality. And also going off that, for my Muay Thai class, of course you can wear anything you want, guys, but if you truly want to be authentic, you gotta get a pair of Thai trunks. I know everyone feels weird about showing their thighs at first, but it's Muay Thai class. When in Rome or when in Thailand.
There we go. Also with the baggy shirts, you get the foot down the arm thing on
yeah.
You don't want, I call that the French tickler.
I've actually had one of my favorite training shirts, just leave this one ruined before because someone's foot went in there and they kicked whoosh, and it ripped and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So you don't want to ruin your favorite shirts either, guys. The rash guards, again, they're just built for what we're training in. You want to make yourself be the best that you can be, and if it means wearing a tighter, moisture-wicking shirt, that is the way to go.
And I always recommend buy a little bit more on the expensive side. It's a one-time buy.
Yeah.
It's a one-time buy. And it'll last you, like, how long have you had, I don't know, what's some of the equipment that you've had for a minute?
My rash guards and my shorts I've had for so long.
Yeah.
You buy a good pair and they last. They can take the washer and the dryer. They can take the repeated wear onto the mat. So get a good pair of rash guards, get a good pair of shorts. And I guess the one other thing I'd like to say about getting is, because it can happen in kickboxing, it can happen in jiu-jitsu, weird toe injuries happen, right? It happens. It's happened to me multiple times in my life. What I always suggest is to get a good pair of we call them combo wrestling boxing shoes. Okay, Adidas makes them. Actually, Adidas makes my favorite pair. If you guys want to know what pair I recommend, the Adidas is fantastic. They call them Mat Hog. But Asics makes a pair, Nike, they all make their own pair of wrestling boxing shoes. Well, what those shoes are is they're safe for our mats. They're clean, obviously they don't have bacteria from outside, but they're also reinforced on the ankle and the toe, so it's protecting your toes if you have injuries, and it's also giving you support on your ankle. So if you ever have or even just want to proactively have a pair, in case you do get an injury, buy a pair of wrestling boxing shoes. If you have a question, you can always holler at me. I'll go on your Amazon account and I'll pick the one for you.
So going back to the first one, the gloves, what size should they be looking at?
I really think if you're doing my Muay Thai class, 16 is perfect. That just allows you to spar with them in addition to hitting pads and all that stuff. If you're doing just the kickboxing class, you're not hitting any person, 12 is okay, 12 to 14. But yeah, definitely 16 if you're doing any part of it.
For some of the girls that have real small hands, would sparring in 14 be okay? Or
that would be okay. 14 would be totally cool. Yeah.
And usually when people talk about sizes, you hear large, medium. What are boxing
it's
gloves?
mostly unisex. That doesn't really quite matter. It just goes more by the actual sizings. You'll see some companies that get into the small, medium, large XL, but I feel like for the most part, it's just like, here's our 16 ounce, here's our 14, here's our 12, and then sometimes we'll have the smaller, like 8 ounce weird glove. Yeah.
And then going back to the gi conversation, let's say I did Taekwondo as a kid. Right. I got me a nice little Taekwondo gi. Is that going to last me?
That is not going to last you. So Taekwondo and karate gis are not built for the work we're doing in jiu-jitsu or saw. They're meant to be punched and kicked in, so they have a nice snap sound. But for these kind of classes, you need more of the thick gi because it's getting pulled, it's getting twisted, and a lot of times we're actually using that gi for chokes and other attacks. So you want something that's not going to rip and tear and shred on the mat.
Awesome. And then what about some of the, like I I feel like, and correct me if you're wrong, if you think differently on it, but I feel like maybe these were skipped because they're almost like assumed that you have. Mouthpiece Cup.
Oh yeah, always. Yeah, mouthpiece, guys, if you're doing any sparring, you don't have to wear the cup, but that's your own danger. You can't get mad at anyone that kicks you in the groin if you're not wearing a cup and you get kicked in the groin. That is on you.
And what's that saying? You play with fire, you're going to get burned?
You're going to get burned. Every one of us who's not worn a cup on a sparring time or a drill, we're doing like low kicks, we've all regretted it.
Yeah. And when I was growing up, I got the Walmart, like, it was like a thong and like,
jockstrap.
you had to walk around. And now you get like these nice
compression shorts.
Yeah. They feel quite comfy. Everything is nice and hugged. And the cup you don't even have to put in until it's like, all right, it's time to spar. You put it in. And even then, because the compression shorts are nice and tight, I've had where I'm drilling, I don't have the cup in. Somebody catches me there, but it's because it's nice and snug, you're not getting the shaken, not stirred effect.
You're not getting the broken eggs. So
even the compression shorts seem to kind of help.
There's some extra padding with that.
Yeah. Awesome. And then maybe what would you say? Okay, the person's got the gear that they definitely need. They've got the cup, the mouthpiece, the boxing gloves, the wraps, and the Shin Guards. That I think, and the gi.
Yeah.
And the no gi, the Rash Guard. After that, what would you say would be some recommended accessories? What would be some other gear? Somebody's got $500 to blow.
Yeah.
What do they buy?
I mean, honestly, you can for Muay Thai, I always say get a good pair of ankle supports. That makes some really nice ankle supports, even with the gel insert on the instep. That's kind of nice. Again, get some like fun Thai trunks or kickboxing shorts or MMA trunks, something that feels cool. It feels real. You're not training in basketball shorts because it does make a difference. There's a reason why fight shorts exist. They're made so you can move and kick and punch without any obstruction. A lot of just normal shorts, athletic shorts, they're not built for that. So make sure you get a good pair of shorts. That's something I would really, really recommend.
Nice. I'll throw in some of the ones I always also recommend. First of all, a nice sports bag. When somebody comes walking in and like they're dropping, and that's me sometimes, dropping. I'm like that at the store because you have to bring your own bag. I hate spending 25 cents on a freaking bag. So I'm like walking, like trying to balance everything and my hands get into my car because I refuse to buy another 25-cent bag. But that's, I see people come in with all these different things. It's like, just get a nice big sports bag.
Yeah.
And I think they run around the $50, give or take 10. And then another thing is, I usually recommend focus mitts just because our gym, as well as any other gym, we got to buy a bunch of them. So we're not buying the nicest ones, and you take enough, you hold pads long enough, it can start to wear down your shoulders. So, I always recommend at some point, invest in your own focus mitts, Thai pads, those sorts of things. MMA gloves.
Yeah, if you want. I would say MMA gloves are, if you want to punch an MMA glove, you can. But unless you're looking to do like MMA competition or like some sort of self-defense training where we're hitting on the ground, I guess you wouldn't need MMA gloves. I'll always say, guys, I know people complain about their hands being hot. I'd rather have an intact hand than a cool hand. MMA gloves are just not ideal to punch bags in. It's different if you want to go on the pads sometimes. I feel like pads are more applicable for MMA work. But yeah, I would definitely say get a good pair of those 16 or 14-inch boxing gloves. I'll help you out a lot more.
Awesome. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think that's kind of it. And then if you're building your own little training garage, heavy bag, of course, double in bag.
Grappling dummy. Little set of weights.
Yeah. Slip bag, since they're cheap and they're a ton of fun. Slip bag. Cool. Well, I like this. Yeah, I think that gives a good, what to start stocking. What to ask for Christmas and your birthday. Awesome, guys.